Nothing beats homemade bread. See, if you've not tried baking bread on your own, this is your cue to do it today. Guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is my first time of making bread, and I'm telling you now that it's the best thing ever. Now, it's very easy to make, and I'm going to take you through all the process. So if you like hot and fresh bread like me, kindly watch this video to the end and learn how to bake bread from the comfort of your home. Hi guys, welcome back to today's tutorial. So let's get to it. So I just showed you the ingredient and I'm going to put everything in the description box. Okay, now first thing first, we're going to mix our yeast with water. So everything is in the recipe. So we're dissolving it and adding our milk, adding our salt. We're going with the dry ingredient in the water. The dry ingredients we're using is yeast, milk, powder, sugar, and a pinch of salt. Okay, so I added milk here because there's already yeast and the salt inside. So you're just going to dissolve this for it to thoroughly combine. Then we're going to add all-purpose flour and will combine together as well. So here I added my flour, sieved flour. Please sieve your flour just so you aerate the flour a bit, because we're doing bread and you really want it to be very fluffy. Yeah, soft fluffy bread. So you're going to mix this together. Now when it gets to this stage, what we're going to do is we need to mix it. Yeah, we need to form it into a dough. So now if you don't have a mixer, not a problem at all. You're just going to get clean, fine table space, very clean and neat because it's bread. So then you're going to combine this, kindly just gently form it into a dough, and you're going to use your hand to mix it. Now you'll be wondering why there is no margarine. Why did I add my margarine? So we're not adding margarine to this dough now. It's not as if the recipe doesn't cause for margarine. We're going to introduce the margarine later. Maybe in 10 minutes time, you're going to see it in this video. So we're going to add the margarine later. So that's how they do bread. You don't introduce the margarine from the scratch. If you introduce the margarine from the scratch, which means you're doing donut, not bread, okay? Now I have added everything into my mixer. We're just going to knead. So if you don't have a mixer, bar wahala, no issues. You're going to use your hand to knead it for about 20 minutes and you're good to go. So I want you to watch this video carefully and so you get all the details, so you don't mix it, because if you really want to try the bread, you really need to follow every deeds, like follow everything, every instruction, so you don't make a mistake. Because the very bad thing, I don't know if there's another word for it, is when you try the recipe and it doesn't come out nice, because you might end up going to a waste because you might not be able to eat it. So please and please, if you know you want to try this recipe, please follow all the instructions and you're gonna love it. Please use good product, like I always mention. And the yeast, please use a fresh yeast. Please don't compromise on your yeast. Don't use yeast you have in the house. I'm begging. So every time I want to make donuts, every time I want to make puff, every time I want to make anything that has to do with yeast, I don't use any yeast in my house, because I've gone through that thing before and it's very heartbreaking. One time I wanted to make donut. Okay, let's leave that aside. I added the margarine here, so just want you to know when you're going to add the margarine. I added the margarine here, so it's the same thing you're going to do if you're using your hand. If you're using your hand, allow it to form a dough before you add your margarine. You don't introduce your margarine while it's still not the way it was from the scratch. No, you allow it to form a dough so that it can rise and mix together. If you do it that way from the beginning, your margarine won't mix because it's bread and because it's bread. Okay, so this is the stage you add your margarine. So like I was saying, I had one time made donuts because the order came very late. I used the yeast in my house and it was 24 pieces of donut. by the time I realized, because I was making the donut, I had other things doing, so my mind was preoccupied. But I just noticed that, hello, where is this donut? Let me go check on it. I was even in my head. I was like, oh, I've wasted a lot of time. Let me go and quickly check my donut. When I got there, the donut was just looking the same way. I had cut it. It has not moved an inch. So all 24 pieces went bad. I even told the customer instantly that I can't give you donut today. Maybe some other time, because I was already frustrated. So anytime you're doing anything that has to do with yeast, please don't use the one you have in the house. Get new ones. So me, for one, I don't buy plenty yeast. I just buy that small size. That's what I use. Okay. So now I'm checking if my bread is stretchy. If the dough is not stretchy, you see what it is looking now. That is when you know that your bread is ready, is proof, and you need to go to the next stage. Now, guys, like I mentioned, I've not done this before. So if this is my first attempt and it came out nice, which means you should even do better. Yes, yours should be fine than my own. So it is my first time of making bread, guys, and I was so happy. It turned out nice. I've had this recipe for the longest time, but laziness will not allow me to bake it, because I used to feel like, oh, the process of making bread is so cumbersome. Because I've once gone to a bakery where they were baking bread, and I was just like, I know me, I know they do this bread thing. But it's not that bad. It's just the same way you want to do your donut, just little different. So you bring it out. Once you're done mixing with your mixer, or you mix with your hand, bring it out, turn it into another bowl, because we want it to rise again. Now, want it to rise, we need it to proof now on its own, the way your donut will proof. You understand? This I left this for like 15 minutes, and it came out, it proofed within 15 minutes. Okay, then you cover with your cling film. Now there is something different about homemade bread. I didn't know what this was. Okay, look at the way it's looking now. So you reduce the air inside, and you cut to your desired shape. Reason I said, please watch this video and get every details. Please don't watch 5 minutes and say, oh, you don't know how to make bread, or you fast forward. You might miss 18 or 2. Okay, that's why the video is even about 13 minutes, because I don't want to do short video and you might miss a point, an instruction or a direction that will spoil your ingredient. So we are not doing that here. We want you to learn everything, and so that when you're trying your own, you're going to love it. Now you spread. You're not using rolling pin. You use your hand to spread it and cut into your desired shape. So in this shape, in this cake, I said, not cake, bread. Somebody help me. I'm tired of always calling bread every time. It's calling cake every time. So you're going to roll, because we want that loaf shape. But if you don't want the loaf shape, if you want those round one, it's entirely up to you. So I rolled it, and when you finish rolling, you're going to seal the tip. You're going to see the way we did it in this video, where I did it in this video. You seal the tip, seal it so that it remains in the loaf shape. It doesn't come out of shape once it's baked. You know how these pastries and things can be. Once they are no longer in that shape or in that form while it's in the oven, it's going to spread out. So now you're going to seal it the way you seal your meat pie, so it doesn't spread out or lose shape while it's in the oven. All right, you're going to see it now. I really want you to take note of that, so that we don't make any mistakes when you're trying yours. So please, I want to see your bread. I don't know, how do they send pictures on YouTube? I don't think they send picture. Please kindly send it to me on Instagram. I would really appreciate it. All right, you see I've sealed it here. You see the way I've sealed it? Yes, that's the way I do it. So that's the way I did it, because this is my first time. All right. Okay, so I didn't use loaf pan, because I didn't have one, because I've not tried making bread before. So I used a square pan, 8 inches, and this recipe gave me 2 loaves of bread. Okay, So it's the same way it is. So we added coconut. They added coconut because we had coconut flakes. We were just trying flavor. So this particular tutorial class was the class I had with my kids. You know, they've been doing summer classes for cakes and pastry, and the bread did not even last 1 minute before everything finished. So if you have seen ants in the video, it's because my babies are at the background of the video. They were learning how to make the bread too. All right, guys, so we're just going to leave this, allow it to rise again. So you're going to cover with your cling film and allow it to rest for 15 minutes max. It might not get to 15 minutes, depends on your yeast, how active the yeast is. But you know, once it's fully proofed, you see it in the video now. Now you use your vegetable oil to grease it so that it comes out glossy, shiny. And if you want a very brown bread, you know it's still going to come out shiny on the top. Now, what else do I want to say? But just look at the way it's looking. You should know that we're already making progress, that this one is going to come out nice. Because I was excited that it didn't flop. Even though it's my first attempt, I was excited. So please, if you're watching this video, kindly give it a like, kindly subscribe, kindly comment. I would really appreciate that. All right, see, now it's fully proof. Like I mentioned, you're going to know because you know that yes, it's proof. So when you're making bread, you have to wait for it to fully proof before you bake. You don't just put it in your pan and bake. So if you tried any recipe before and once you finish mixing it, you put it in your pan, so that was the mistake you made. No, it's not done that way. Now our bread is baked. I'm trying not to mention cake. Our bread is baked. You see how nice it looks. Now we ended up with coconutty bread and vanilla bread. Guys, I don't know, you really need to try this. The taste is amazing. If you try this, you're definitely not going to be buying bread, because even with the cost, like the amount you're going to use to bake, like baked these 2 loaves from, you know what the current price is right now. So this is really, really affordable. So it's you saving cost if you're going to be doing your bread from now on. Now see the way it looks. So the reason why the top was looking that way was because of the space of the pan was really small. So it was after it's baked when I realized that no, would have used a bigger pan, and I didn't have loaf pan, so I used cake pan. So I was supposed to end up with a more bigger bread because that pan was small, but you know it now looks like it compressed to each other, but it still looked nice. Yummy bread ever. You're gonna love it. It was an absolute delight. So guys, kindly try it and let me know. Comment, let me know. You can send me pictures on Instagram. Let me see how your bread looks like. So I'm going to see you in my next tutorial. I'm here thinking, what video should I do next? If you want me to do a particular video, kindly let me know, guys. See you in my next tutorial video.